Anything else?
That's nothing. We're recording now, so focus faces.
All right. So, quick recap on the last episode of Curse of Strahd. Our group valiantly saved the life of Arabelle, who is the daughter. Am I getting feedback?
Yeah.
Arabelle, who is the daughter of Luvash. Now, the gang kind of decided amongst themselves that they ain't taking her back to Luvash. They're going to take her on back to her mom's house. They found out that her mom lives in Sarpool Falls, and amongst other things, the Vistani are kind of having a schism amongst themselves where the men are living in one camp and the women are living in another. For some reason, after Dr. Takesh took off, things changed around here. So we're finding that out now. Currently, the group is at the lake. They also dealt with a bag of holding that was sort of odd that they decided to send up in flames. Did I miss anything?
I think that's everything, honestly.
All right, so we will take you guys.
Only thing I can think of is the lake wasn't that hungry.
Oh yeah, you knocked his teeth out. That's what happened.
Yeah, like honestly, like we can go through it. Like we went to Luvash? Luvash is how his name is, right?
Yeah, you went to Luvash's camp just outside of the town of Aleki.
Right, and we met the Velikov elves. We learned a little bit about them, how they're, docile based off of what particularly happened. Solel, what is it? Solel was pretty troubled in that scenario, obviously. He didn't like the fact that somebody was getting beat, and he didn't, his, what was it, your honor, or your, like,
My goodness in me. The goodness in me, bro.
Yeah. The goodness in him, it wasn't allowed. So I guess in that scenario, the group went up while, Dr. Nakia stayed behind a little bit. Learned that Alexei basically was being punished for losing the daughter, when come to find out he didn't lose her. He was busted up over the head. Arabelle was taken by a particular drunkard / like, I don't know how you want to explain it. Like, he was out of his fucking mind because he lost his wife. Ended up trying to basically give Arabelle to the lake because the Vasanti are a curse in his mind, especially since the Vasanti were basically kind of like blessed by Strahd. We beat the dog shit out of like the two Lakoans that were there, which was pretty fun. Arabelle basically reprimanded Bluto. That's his name, Bluto. Yep, we found the bag of we were not given the bag of holding, but we heard the voices of the bag of holding. Dimitri's character, I gotta remember names. I'm gonna remember names. Ilyana did some cool shit. Destroyed the bag. Probably saved our lives in that scenario. And yeah,
Sure, Ilyana didn't destroy it. Soleil did.
Oh, Soleil did. I'm sorry. Soleil destroyed it, saved our lives. That's right. Did the fireball thing. And now we basically got to that point to where it was all like we were fighting about we need to take the girl to her mama, but the girl wants to go to her dad. So we're in that scenario. But I'm pretty sure. I think we talked her into going to her mother, regardless.
Yeah.
We just decided we were going to take her there.
Okay. So we're gonna take an 8-year-old against her will to her mother, where all the other women are. That's where we're at. We went to sleep, and now it's the morning.
Well, I was actually going to talk to Ludo because I wanted to ask him something.
Before we go to sleep, this is gonna happen.
Well, you guys woke up in the morning already, though.
That's not what I was planning to do. I wanted to talk to Bluto before he went to sleep.
All right, so we'll roll the clock back, and we'll take it back to where Bluto was getting ready to lay everybody down. Remember, he gave you guys his best
best
hospitality.
Yeah, we did.
dirty blankets we've ever seen. Ugh. I'm cuddling with Balthazar.
Let me pop that lakeside map back up. There we go.
Oh, I was gonna say we didn't really need to go back because I was just gonna ask him a quick question about the bag because I remember he said he got that. It was his last reminder of his wife. Is something he said, right? After it got burned up.
Yes.
So Ileana wants to ask him about that. She was like, Mr. Bluto, I need to ask you a question about something you said that is quite peculiar to me. You said that that bag was the last remnant or reminder of your wife. Can you elaborate on that?
My wife used to crochet and sew, and she created this bag. In the night mother blessed the bag, but something awful was in there.
Is the bag the reason for your wife's disappearance?
I believe so. We sleep in the bed, and one morning I wake up to hear her screaming, and the bag is eating the bed that we are in. I tried to save her with the best I could, but it swallowed the bed. It swallowed my wife, and I left the bag in the corner. I never touched it again.
But you heard the whispers of it, yes?
It spoke to me at night as I slept in the recliner.
How did she bless this bag with, or how did the Night Mother bless this bag?
You see, my wife and I were without child because of my problem with alcohol, I believe. But as she crochets and sews while I fish, she would hope and pray and go to the sending stones not far from here. And in her prayers, she was blessed with the bag, or cursed.
Do we know about the sending stones? Have we learned about that in our travels here?
Yeah, there's 3 sets of sending stones, like a circle of sending stones in Barovia, basically near each one of the towns.
Okay, and they're dedicated to, I presume, the Night Mother, the Light Bringer. I forget the
Morning Lord.
Morning Lord. Would we know who the last set is dedicated to?
You guys wouldn't have figured that out yet.
Okay. Okay. She nods, kind of pats him on the shoulder. She says, I am sorry for your loss, of course. But we will see you to what was her name again? The Vistani.
Madam Ava?
Madam Ava.
Yeah.
And I will plead for mercy on your behalf.
And he doesn't look like he's all too happy, but he understands that he's in trouble.
Sure.
So he's like, there must be some other way I can recompense. Possibly, just give me a chance.
It's not my place to say. I can only abide by the laws of the ones you have transgressed against.
And then he looks to Arabelle. He's like, please, sweetheart. He's like, I'm a nice man. I treat you fairly.
You are a grown man and she is a child. A grown woman must be the one that you must entreat to, not the child.
I am just a simple fisherman.
Enough, Bluto. Go to sleep. And we will deliver you to Madam Ava in the morning.
And with that, Blue just kind of shuts up and he's sitting in the corner, like almost sweating.
So Ileana, you see, like, as you sort of step away from him, you see Soleil's like one eyebrow go up, like You really gonna plead for his like on his behalf?
Sure. Like she'll give like enough to like not
Just like a
kill
nod.
him. Like not like she doesn't want him to die, but you know, it's yeah, she'll like if he's like purposefully like kind of trying to grab her attention.
I think Soleil he'd be fine with just like a nod or like a but he's just like, really?
Sure. Like I don't know how she would really respond to it.
Sure. Just a
You know,
shrug.
just kind of shrug.
Yeah.
You know, and join Maser with the guard duty for the night.
So, as you guys sleep through the night, it's pretty quiet. You do hear some wolves howling in the distance, and nothing odd or unordinary happens, per se.
Per se.
That we know.
So when you wake up in the morning, as we said before, Bluto's making you his best breakfast with some leftover sardines and some moldy bread, but he's doing the best he can with what he's got. He's working on a little cook stove, and he still looks a little nervous, you know, as he's like preparing breakfast for you guys. So you wake up to the smell of hot, stale fish.
Nice.
Ileana will not partake. She'll just have some of her rations.
Eat my own rations as well.
Right.
She would say, "I appreciate the gesture, but I have my own food at the moment."
And he kind of like scrapes the mold off the bread. He's like, "No, it's still good. I promise. You can have as much as you like."
I'm sure you can. Please, you can have my portion.
And Arabelle seems like she's more than happy to share a meal with Bluto as they're like sitting at his ramshackle of a table that he still has left. As you guys are in Bluto's hovel and you slept there for the night, like you would see that there are like nail marks in the wooden floor that looks like someone was drugged into that corner where the bag was.
Mm-hmm.
So his story kind of lines up.
Right, was what he was talking about with his wife. And there's nothing else of kind of just want to look around the shack now that it's a little more daylight. Just see if there's anything else, like kind of following that line of logic of what he was talking about, to see if there's anything else out of place in here that would match his story.
Oh yeah, where he sleeps in his recliner, there looks like there was a space for like a full-size bed that was like made out of hay, and like you see like loose hay and everything, and drag marks of a bed. Like it looks like the whole bed was pulled towards this bag.
Okay.
I guess while you know they're doing the investigation, like Nikia's probably outside working on her like daily preps, getting her alchemist stuff ready. Still and eating her own rations because she's not touching none of that shit. But I think she would want to have a conversation with Edibel. Just to get more information about her father and then also her mother. So like basically trying to show her like, you know, the alchemist, you know, stuff like connect like mixing the you know, some of the chemicals and stuff, and she like pops up with like some sparkles and stuff, just getting her attention, and then just be like, my dear, tell me more about your father.
Oh, Papa Luvash?
Yes, tell me more.
Papa Luvash is a very kind man. He's so nice. He treats everyone with respect and dignity, and he's so nice to the elfmen with no ears.
Oh, is he? What does he do for them?
He makes sure that they stay in their houses and they have food, and he's always taking care of them and making sure that they don't get lost when they go out into the woods.
Oh boy, she was lost in the sauce, boy.
I know. Tell me more about your mother. Do you also have do you have siblings? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I am a only child.
Oh, so you're a special child. She like taps her nose.
And she's like, yeah, I'm Papa Luvash's special child.
What about your mother?
My mommy lives in Sir Pool with Madame Ava and all the other ladies.
What's your mommy's name?
Well, I call her mommy.
Of course you do.
What does everybody else call her?
Right.
Oh,
And what
her name is Jasmine.
Jasmine, that's a pretty name. Just like Arabelle's a pretty name. Did your mommy name you?
No, Papa Luvash did after his mommy.
Oh. Interesting. What do you want to see some stuff blow up?
Yeah.
And then they'll go blow
Did we
some
just
stuff up.
become best friends? Yup.
Yup. I guess after like doing that, and then I guess pulling Soleil and Ileana off to the side while everybody gets ready, and I'm assuming I guess Lucia as well. Like I'm having like pulling them off. I just like I am having second thoughts. And I do understand why we would want to take her to her mother, but I feel as though she will not go quietly.
That's fine.
Her father couldn't even be bothered to come look for her. He was more than happy to let her get dragged off, and if we hadn't followed, she'd have gotten taken to the lake, eaten by the lake, whatever Ludo was trying to do.
To
We're
be
really
honest,
gonna take him back to that guy?
we did not give him time to actually go and look for his daughter.
He said,
True.
no, he said, night is not the time to go look for little girls. He wasn't going to do shit.
I understand, Lucia.
I must agree. He was more interested in beating a man down to near death than going to look for his daughter.
Yeah.
We have only
Nah,
you
I'd
have
say
only
more
been here.
interrogation though than
You
beating.
have only been here in Barovia for only 6 months, at most, and we have never traveled at night. Please, he had good reason, and I do not mean to be on his side, to not go out at nighttime.
Well, outside of that, what is your other hesitation besides taking her to her mother? Then she just doesn't want to.
Repercussion from the camp.
No, not even that. I do not care too much about the camp. It's the happiness of the young one. That is all. But
Friends, if I may interject, I think the wisest move would be to, unfortunately, return her to her father. One, favor can go a long way in these world.
that is very true, and we do need horses.
We don't have lots of allies or associates even. So this could give us a way to garner more towards our goals. And at the end of the day, the child seems to be happy.
It
And
seems
we
to
know
me then that the more prudent action would be to take her to her mother. Then
I agree.
the female Festante would be a more powerful ally, no, than this vagabond essentially, out in the middle of nowhere.
For
We
one,
don't know that with her being a little girl though.
Well, the
Her being a
mother
little-
doesn't seem to have favor with Strahd. The father does. It's where do you want your favors?
well, I don't want my favors with Strahd. I'll say that.
It's not about getting the favor with Strahd, but getting the intel that we may need for him.
And to stay under the radar. I understand exactly what we should do. But in the long run, is it the smartest thing? We know where she will be. I understand. We know where she will be with Luvash. I know their patterns. I know where they will be if they have to move camp. But they won't. That is where the elves must stay. But
Simply the arguments in giving the child back to this man do not seem to hold any quite water with me, to be quite honest with you. The arguments to give the child back to her father could equally be made to her for her mother in our greater argument. In all honesty, she would be safer amongst the women.
Yes, and
And
we cannot
arguably-
know who would have the better intel between the father or the mother.
Agreed. I mean, the man is seemed to be a raving, lunatic in my eyes. And again, I say he had the daylight to go and search for his daughter left. We left before the light dimmed. He had the chance before we did, and he was more interested in beating a man than searching for his daughter.
Right. We
He
do
could have
not
taken all
know.
of his
We don't
he
know.
could have taken all of his men to go and search the woods, but he didn't. He just beat a man.
Yeah, I mean, he started beating this man, and we do not know how long he did that for. I mean, he could have
Agreed.
been
We came
beating
upon
him
him
for
when he was
half
doing
an
it.
hour. Meanwhile, it took us that long to get to the lake.
We did in 30 minutes what he could not be bothered to do with a camp full of men.
I think everything that we could gain from giving her back to her father is the same thing as we can gain from giving her to her mother. However, my conscience would be a lot more clear going with the mother. So for me, I see most benefit with that route.
I must agree.
I mean, in the words of Samurai, everyone deserves a second chance. Do we not give this man a opportunity to redeem himself?
Does he seem like he wants it?
It's not for us to decide.
But does it seem like he wants it? I mean, from the
Well, we made
opportunity that we had with him, it seemed more like he wanted a fight. Not that he had any sort of thoughts on being redeemed for torturing a man, or even that he recognized that he was failing his daughter at the time.
I just see that in his circumstance and his predicament, would you be much different? Again, maybe that's the
Yes.
reason that we're here.
Clearly.
I am
Also,
also
why would you
worried
be a
about-
leader of men and not have at least them go look?
I am also worried about for the fact that if we do take her to her mother and Madame Ava, if it could bring something to them. And I do not want that problem as well.
What problem
I
do you
guess-
think would arise from that?
Not only the men going to them, but also maybe even Strahd sending emissaries or knights or whatever he does to hurt the women, all because of this child. I do not know. But
Well, how would the father
if-
even know that she's alive at this point?
You don't think if we take her to the mother, the word would spread?
not only that, Strahd sees all, and if he's in close communication with Luvash and the Vasanti men there.
Do we know if he's in close communication? I didn't understand that they were
I'm
such
saying-
close allies.
I'm saying I don't know.
I would assume that Strahd and Luvash are probably not close friends. Now, I don't see Strahd getting tangled up in this conflict. Now, if we're so hesitant for this, then perhaps we should talk with Madame Ava to see, give her the intelligence and say this is where we're at. We don't want to put your people in a worse position. How would you like to proceed? I think myself,
I actually like that idea.
I believe we should deliver her to her mother. I do think that there is some merit to not wanting to put them in a worse position. However, if they are fine with accepting that and it's their choice, then I still think we should deliver her to her mother.
I think it's worth noting that this child will end up with Madame Ava at some point anyway. They've acknowledged that all women end up in this other camp, specifically to hide from Strahd. Now, Nakia, I know that you have your own reasons for wanting to avoid the eyes of Strahd, and I respect that. But it turns my stomach to think about taking her back to this man that cared not at all to try and come after her.
I am convinced, my friends.
So how are we gonna keep a girl from screaming on the road then? Because she's gonna want to go to her dad, and she's gonna do everything she can to get to her dad.
If we must, I can put her to sleep. It is not that hard.
There you have it.
I
We're
think we have
kidnapping-
enough diplomacy between us to...
I feel like we're kidnapping a child if we have to put her to sleep against her own will, though.
Do you let your children make all the decisions in your home? every once in a while, the adults have to stand up and make the smarter
But we're not
choices.
her adults. We're not in her
Well,
home.
currently we are her guardians. We have taken
Well-
responsibility from her or for her after we saved her from being tossed into a lake to die. So, for the time being, I see us as her guardians until we can give her to her more right guardian, such as her mother.
I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about this, guys.
That's just location. This place sucks.
That much is.
Well, okay, so we take her to mother, and then Bluto here, isn't he? Aren't we taking him back to the camp for punishment?
We're taking him to Madame
No.
Ava.
Same place.
Oh, we're taking him to Manabeba as well.
Correct.
We are not going back to camp with him.
Okay, we're not going to camp at all. Okay, I'm okay then with this. Yeah.
I was about to say, and if we really follow and kind
'Cause
of,
I was gonna say if we do take him back to camp, what says he doesn't tell the camp our plan? Like that was my only argument, but
By the
we
way,
didn't
is
wanna take him
anyone
back to-
watching him?
It's a good point.
No.
why
Oh,
did he
we're
just
all
fucking disappear?
Like, I'm
back
pretty
looking at that. This month.
like when I pulled off the initial the 3 people, I pulled them outside. We're not inside the house.
right,
Yeah, is
you
there
did say
one
that.
door, or is it like something he could just sneak out? Like, is he literally walking around
Oh,
the
he's
dock
still
right now?
going.
Or...
Yeah, he's going through his morning routine, just basically like getting his
All
boats
right, so
all
if we,
tied
if
up
we
and
have
everything.
him, like, I would assume we would at least have like visual of him and not lost track of him. You know, so
Yeah.
if he's just walking around the dock, then like we'll let him
Yeah,
do his thing.
Well, and if the initial plan was to take Ludo to Madame Ava anyway, we could
Yeah.
very well do, and I apologize, I've already forgotten who suggested this, but take Ludo to Madame Ava, take Arabelle with us, and if Madame Ava says, no, you're bringing on a whole bunch of mess to my home that I don't want, we loop back and take her back to Daddy Luvash afterwards.
And I definitely agree with that.
I believe that is a good compromise.
Agreed. And that makes me feel a lot better.
It makes
Poor
my skin
Bluto's gonna
royal
get
that
beaten
she
to
could
death.
end up back with that man, but if Madame Ava, she would be the authority in the entire conversation. I would follow her will on that.
So, out of character specifically, Madame Ava is up towards Valecki, you said?
All right, I'll take you guys back to the overmap.
She's deep east.
Because we're
I think
yeah.
we're by Valecki now. We have to go, towards.
Yeah, you guys are
Sir-
currently near Valecki, and you need to get to Sarah Pool, where her camp is,
Oh, and that's not that far. We
which
just
would be here.
Oh, okay, the one over by Strahd's castle.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This shit looks pretty far.
It's not that far if we have horses.
20 miles.
That's a full day's ride if we have horses.
Where are we gonna get horses?
Yeah,
You
where
see
we
any
get them,
horses
bro?
around
We're
here?
stealing
I see a
them?
boat in a river.
Valecki, some bitch. We can easily go and find some. Because
You guys would know that Luvash is the only one with horses outside of Valecki.
some bitch.
So now we're back in a struggle.
Personally, I would
All right,
prefer
why-
my feet
why
on
don't-
the ground.
Why don't we leave, Bluto, the little girl, and, one or two of us here.
We can walk.
Oh,
this
God, we
far.
never switched
No,
the party.
no. I would rather not be split amongst my friends by 20 miles.
We can.
No,
we can,
no, I'm not saying go there. I'm saying then go back to the camp and then grab the horses, then get up here and then ride
I
out.
would also not want to be horse thieves.
There's nothing saying you guys can't cut through the woods if you want to.
I don't know.
That sounds like
I
I
a
would
would
good idea.
assume that roads are faster, just based off of like why roads are made.
I
But
also assume that somebody's trying to kill us with him saying that.
yeah, I could see maybe us cutting across the forest like here, unless this is like a fucking mountain that I can't tell.
Definitely some wow moment. You go off the road, there are monsters all over.
No, it's
100%.
just
Hey,
dense
we've been
woods.
playing
Also,
WoW, we know.
Yeah, also
Right.
understanding this, as a Vasanti person, don't ever go off the roads, especially if you're like one of the cursed people.
I mean, 20 miles is you can at
You
least
can
as
hook
far
that
as
in a day.
you can walk that in a day.
Yeah.
That'd be a full day's. I mean, maybe going a little slower just because we have a old man and a little girl with us,
Yeah.
but we can carry the girl.
We could
Yeah.
definitely carry the girl. 20, like I
Have to
said,
put a sock in Bluto's mouth, or he's gonna be talking the whole way there.
we can officially get 24 miles in a day travel speed if we're going by rule book. We can
Gotcha.
stay on the road. We can take breaks. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
In an
Yeah,
entire
we can do
day?
Yeah. If we haul ass now, we just woke up early in the morning.
that. Is it
24
8 hours or 24 hours?
Miles per day travel speed for people who are 25 to 30 speed is 20 to 24 miles a day. That's
So
what
you guys are going to travel at night too?
No.
So I'm assuming that means a
think that
full
means
day
game day.
minus rest.
It's technically you can get 24 miles in a day and then do your normal 8-hour rest.
Because that would be like if that's 12 hours, you're going 2 miles an hour. That's pretty slow, right?
I'm literally reading it. 9.2 assumes traveling over flat and clear terrain. Obviously, if we stay on the roads, it's comfortable terrain.
Right.
At a determined pace that is not exhausting. Difficult terrains, I'm assuming if we cut through these trees, would be difficult terrains. We're also going up and down hills on an uneven path, basically, which would make it more exhausting. That's why we stay on the road.
Yeah, I think if we stay on the road, we do that. I mean, if you're saying that's 100% we can't make it in one day, then potentially we
That's
just
up
try
to
to
the
find.
DM, yeah.
If that's the case, then maybe would I know what old bone grinder is? Is that like
I heard the DM say something about, are we going to be traveling at night? So
we
the
do not
nighttime
want
is,
to choose to travel by night. No. So if we have to stop somewhere, I guess
Set up
I mean
our
there
own
has
small
to be somewhere between Valeki and like the village of Barovia, right? Otherwise,
yeah,
how
you
would
can stop at the old windmill if you like.
Ooh,
I
there's a
guess I'm
windmill?
just trying to like just logically, if people are going to travel across this place, they have to at least get from one town to the other in a day if they're going to be killed at night. Otherwise, no one would travel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Strahd,
So
maybe
if we
Strahd-
can get to their camp in one day, I choose that. If we cannot, then I guess what are our options for stops?
And like I said, you can stop along the way at the old bone grinder windmill. You guys know that somebody works there. You've seen some smokestacks coming out of that place. Or, of course, you guys could always just set up camp on the road along the way.
I would not like to do that.
I would like to avoid that.
I say we break camp. We start making our way, and then towards the middle of the day, after lunch or second lunch, we can decide where we want to end the night. Once we pass the old windmill,
Is
know
there
where
any
it
is there any place to stop after the windmill though?
there are the gates, particularly.
The
Not
Gates
that's
House Travelers.
I don't know if it's like one of those towered gates, Levi.
It's
but
not like
something we would
it's
know.
not like a gatehouse. It's a magically manned gate. The gates open and close at the command of whoever's watching that gate.
It seems like the windmill is about our only option if we need to stop before Barovia, or I guess the Lady Ava's camp.
Well, on the way there we can determine it by the time of day. But I think we should break camp now, and then make our way there. I think one of you should either tell the child that we will see Madame Ava before we take her to her father.
I say just put her to sleep now.
It is our last resort. I will let her know.
Does anyone have any particular magic to make us move faster? All of us? Anything?
Is anybody a ranger?
I don't believe I have any magic like that now.
That's
Yeah.
all
I
right.
have haste, but I don't think it will last very long.
No.
You can only affect one person.
Okay. Just a thought.
So the plan is to take Old Salvage Road and potentially stop at the windmill.
Yes, sir.
Potentially.
We'll most likely get there before lunch and see how we feel. Cause what? That's officially like 7 miles.
Yeah, it seems like 10-ish
We'll say
miles
like,
to the
we'll say
windmill.
like,
That's
Yeah.
pretty much like the halfway point.
Yeah.
and we'll see how it is. But yeah, that's game plan. Everybody load up, stock up.
Are there low alchemy potions for speed?
10 minutes worth. It's not worth it.
All right, who's breaking the news to Arabelle?
Ileana said she would do it.
Eliana.
So as you guys are going into Valeki, she's like pointing out like all the shops that she likes to shop in. She's like, there's the shop where Mr. Blinsky, he makes all the fun toys, and there's the shop there where the Bluegill Inn, that's where my daddy likes to get his wine, but it hasn't been made deliveries lately. And she just point out everything as you guys are walking by. And there's the nice man. He has a saber-toothed tiger that he likes to run in the circus.
Oh, what?
Oh, which one is your favorite in the circus?
I like the saber-toothed tiger. It's so big. Roar.
Yes, I like the tigers as well. Now,
And as you guys start getting towards the east gate, she's like, wait, Papa Luvash is over here at the west gate.
I understand. We must visit Madame Ava first. We have to take Bluto to her to have him answer for a few things that he has done. He won't be in trouble. Don't worry. He just has to tell Madame Ava that he was a bad boy. Yeah?
But Papa Luvash worries when I'm not home.
It will be okay. We'll send him the message. We have to get permission from Madame Ava first. It'll be fine. You'll be able to see your mama for a little bit, and then if Madame Ava says so, we bring you back to Luvash.
But all this is Madame Ava's idea. She likes for us to stay here with Papa Luvash.
We just need to make sure. It is okay.
And she's kind of like hesitant as she's like walking towards the east gate with you guys. She's like, but we can just stop and see Papa Luvash to let him know.
Papa Luvash was in a particularly foul mood, and I wouldn't want you to see him in such a bad manner. We want to make sure that Madame Ava is fine with you going back to Papa Luvash. Can you understand that?
He was probably mad because Alexei got bonked on his head by Bluto.
A little bit. He was mad about a few things. But we just want to make sure that you are safe and sound and you are going to be in the best place possible.
Well, the best place possible is with Papa Luvash.
Now, you were taught when you were younger to listen to your elders, yes?
Papa Luvash says only listen to him.
That's not a good lesson. You need to listen to the Madame Elber as well, yes? She is the one who leads your people?
He says that Madame Ava is a seer, and Madame Ava doesn't know what's going on in front of her.
She just kind of chuckles at that. Like, well, I can't speak to that. What I do know is that the people that I have heard about, your Stanti people, are led by Madame Ava. And I want to make sure, as well as much as I can, that you are in the best place possible. Luvash may be the best for you, but I want to get 2 answers first. I've gotten his, I want to get Madame Ava's for actually.
And Bluto's kind of like, well, she's supposed to be with her father.
She's supposed to be with the one who is best to raise her. That may be her father, it may not be.
I want to like put my finger on his Bluto's chest and just be like, listen here. You do not talk. You are quiet this entire time. I have plenty of reasons to put you in the dirt, but she likes you for some reason. So shut up.
I'll walk them through as well. Be like, this is all happening because of you.
Right.
You did this. It's because of you. Shut up and let us get our mission done.
Bluto just like zips his strap. He's like, well, I just thought that I would be trying to help.
What
You
did I
aren't
just
helping.
say?
Don't make me put some intimidation on you.
I'm pretty sure he saw mine when I blew that fucking thing up.
It's okay,
All right.
my friend.
Now, Aribel, you are a good girl, yes?
I'm the best girl.
That's right. Just listen to us for a little while. See your mama, and if your mama wants to take you back to Luvash, we will take you back as fast as possible. How does that sound?
Well, if it's as fast as possible, are we going to stop by the old windmill? Somebody sells pies there. They're so tasty.
We are.
Eyes.
We'll get some tasty pies on the way.
And she's like, yay, pie. And she's like throwing her hands up in the air and cheering.
Society check. Being a Visanti and all.
Yeah, feel free.
And if she will let Ileana like pick her up, she'll put her on her shoulders to carry her.
All right, Dice, you're telling a story.
So you've heard about the
Literally.
dream pies. You know it's a local favorite of the people of Valeki and the people from Barovia. Sometimes people will literally hike all the way from the village of Barovia to the windmill to get a pie. But every now and then, the lady that sells the pies, Griselda, will come with her little pie cart and sell them in towns.
Do
Okay.
the Vistani people actually eat the pies, or just the Barovians?
Some do. It just depends on whether or not they happen by.
Okay. Well, let us go.
I don't know, man. It sounds like some witch undead pies to me.
I was about to say, what, I've heard this story before.
All right. So as you guys are traveling, let me see.
Man, if only while we traveled we had someone with beautiful stories to tell us along the way that will keep us motivated.
I don't know what that's in reference to. I'm sorry.
I'm literally
he's a
talking.
bard.
I'm literally talking to Bard, Lucia.
Oh,
like legit. Like Dr. Nikea looks back at Lucia. If only we had wonderful stories.
So as you guys are around in the bend,
She's
the
getting
old Svalich Road transitions from being a winding path through the Belenok Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside and descends into the fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of the Great Lakes. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. The onion-domed edifice leans forward to one side, as though it's trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floor, and a decrepit wooden platform that encircles the windmill above from a flimsy doorway leading to the building's interior. Perched on the wooden beam above the door is a raven, and it hops and squawks at you guys as you walk by, almost as if to tell you guys to stay away from the mill.
Is that what it actually says?
Almost as if.
Are ravens the one that can actually mimic humans, or is it crows?
Yes, it's crows, actually.
Okay.
But no joke, I squawk back at it.
And,
That's right. You're a Tengu.
and I,
and as you're like squawking back at it, it kind of like tilts its head to the left, and it's like looking at you kind of crazy.
can I
Yeah.
do an occultism check for kind of like to glean more from that warning? Like kind of looking around.
Oh, feel free.
Yeah, is it a real warning or does it just feel like a warning because we're all on edge?
Oh, snap.
I tell you, the dice is telling a story.
It definitely feels like a warning to you. Like the crow is like looking into the windows of your soul and squawking at you like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, so
You know-
Ileana will definitely stop and say,
Squawking back with intimidation on this crow. For this raven, it's pissing me off.
And the raven like gets quiet and just flutters off like,
Yeah.
What did it say?
I do believe we are being given a very strict warning
Yeah.
against this place.
And you guys notice a wafting smell that smells like a meat pie made with a fantastic gravy.
No.
And Ileana, Arabelle's like, "Yay, meat pie! Yay, yay, yay!"
She's
Holding
like
her
Ileana.
hand.
Ileana. Well, I don't know if anyone heard. I put her on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And so she just kind of sighs. And it's like, we may need to check the pies first before having them.
Oh yeah, I can definitely do that.
Have we figured out what time of day we reach this place? Like, do we feel like we 100% are going to have to stay here for the night?
From looking at where the sun is beyond the clouds, you realize that in about another 5 hours it'll start to get dark, and you're probably gonna need about another 8 hours of travel to get where you need to be.
So it's this or make a camp somewhere.
I would rather. Well,
Literally looking at the military people. We can clear it like we used to do.
you read my mind. I don't want to displace anyone, but if we are not allowed to stay here, we may need to do displacing, or preferably persuade them.
Before we start, brethren, let me climb up one of these trees and see what I can see, so we can get a scope before we enter.
Yes, we may be jumping ahead of the proverbial spear at the moment. Perhaps things are not as bad as my gut is telling me.
Oh no, we should always follow our we have all been, most of us have been in wars. Keep that instinct. Before you go, Tirvez,
Hey,
and I'm
made that animal.
gonna actually pass Tirvez one of my one of these elixirs of life. I'm gonna pass Soleil one, Ileana, Lucia, and then also Edison. How do you say it? Etesian?
Artesian.
Etesian. So like all 5 of my elixirs, everybody gets 1, and it's the lesser. So that's 3d6 plus 6 right now.
You want to drop that so I can see what it is?
Yeah, I got you.
Please. You.
Please be careful. Also, I do want to load one of my. I know I'm that person right now, but I do want to at least load one of the magazines and then drop one of the alchemist fires into Infideles de Regalo, just to have it ready. Just to feel
Why
good.
are you doing all that? It's just a windmill.
Yeah.
This is Barovia. I know a lot.
Ileana
Seems
will
like you're going a little overboard for it just to be a windmill.
That's cool.
Ileana will set Arabelle on the ground, and she'll say, "I need you now to stay behind me, no matter what happens. Okay?"
And she's like, "I know Miss Griselda. She just sells the pies. It's safe."
I would not be so sure at the moment. For the time being, simply to stay behind me.
Can we get Balthazar to watch the kid?
Yeah, let's say Balthazar will totally
You mean
stand with her.
Bluto?
Nah.
No, I mean
No,
Balthazar.
Balthazar the
Oh,
ram.
I didn't even put him on the page. My
Real.
bad.
I'm sorry.
Nah.
How could we forget Balthazar?
Do you want me to roll anything to climb the tree to scope the area before we go over?
How high is your athletics? I'm pretty sure you can just do it without worrying about it.
I mean, I have that too, but my athletics. I have combat climber, or I guess that would not matter. We're not in combat.
Man's got his bona fides.
Where's everybody?
13.
I do want to also go up to
And his car's here. The girls.
while giving the elixir of life.
They're upstairs.
Ileana, Lucia, Solel, and Tirvez. I'm also gonna give y'all.
Masquerade.
Masquerade, I'm also gonna give y'all these. Just in case. Again, please be careful.
Nooming tonic.
And let's get the little one a pie, I guess.
I'm sorry. Did you? Who all got the numbing tonics?
You,
Okay.
Ileana, uh, Lucia, and Masquerade.
As you guys are all standing there handing out potions and everything, someone opens up the door, and she sees you guys, and she's like, "Oh, hello.
Hi.
Have a good evening.
I don't think I've seen you travelers before. Well, except for Arabelle here. How you doing, sweetheart?" And she's like, "Lady Griselda."
Yes.
She's
good
like, "Did
evening.
Luvash send these people here to get pie?" And she's like,
We are-
"Well, I want a pie. I don't know if they want one."
We are simply traveling by and need lodging for the night. It is dangerous in the night in Barovia, yes?
Oh yeah, very dangerous for travelers. Where are you guys on the way to?
To the south, to the Vistani camp, south of here.
Oh, you must be going to see Madame Ava.
Yes, of course.
Oh well, I'm sorry, my place is a bit of a mess. I wasn't expecting company.
If it is not too much trouble, we would entreat for safe lodging for the night if you would have us.
I must request that if you come in, you only stay downstairs. I'm so embarrassed about the way my place looks upstairs.
Ileana kind of looks at her companions to gauge their reactions to that.
God, can I get a perception on her just to
I was gonna ask for the same thing.
for legitimate
she look clean?
ick factor? I just icky. Do I feel
Is she
icky?
clean or is she icky?
Feel
Like-
free.
More like an insight check, I guess, against her deception DC. But
It's perception. Like, how do I feel about that?
Clerics don't have like a detect undead or demon or shit like that anymore, right?
I don't
Not
think,
just
like,
missing it
intrinsically.
somewhere.
No.
I think there's a spell,
Okay.
but I don't think they just have that though.
Gotcha.
What do I do? Like a reflex will?
I think it's
It-
against the deception DC if she's lying.
So it'll be just a deception plus 10.
Or you can roll it if you want, but it's usually the DC.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't have it listed under skills for deception.
So then it would be what is that? Charisma. It would be a charisma base. So you can do will if you want to,
You could do class DC if they have that.
or class DC, which is whatever the level is plus 10, I guess, or it's basically 15 plus the level.
15 plus a level.
Yeah, I'll double check, but
Okay, so
it's 15 plus level.
It's base DC 10, whatever the modifier is, plus proficiency. So if they're trained, it'd be a plus 7.
okay. The only person that seems to be uneasy by this lady is Dr. Takesh.
I feel like Soleil's uneasy. I mean, I didn't roll, but I feel like he would already be. I guess I have no reasoning to be uneasy, but I think Soleil is not happy with the circumstances that he's in right now.
I mean, I don't think we should just stand out here all day. Are you going to come in, or?
Of course. Annabelle, please, follow me.
And Ileana will lead the way.
In battle formation.
Yo, it's about to be cramped.
And she opens the door to you guys, and you can see the kitchen's a bit of a mess, and her little cart is like full of pies. And she kind of edges herself back by the stairs, and kind of sits on the steps, and she's like, I just need to sit for a spell. I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot of space for you guys. I wasn't expecting company.
Means we are sorry to impose upon you.
Can I do like a cursory like glance or like crafting? Because like this is where they cook everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just with the crafting skill to like determine like what all particularly she cooks with, and if it's safe?
Also, did we step into a trap? Does it look like something's going to open up from the floor and us drop into her cauldron?
No, nothing like that. I mean, it looks like a pretty standard kitchen. I mean, some of the cooking ingredients look a little off, I would say.
Uh-oh.
Off is how?
Define off.
Yeah, define off.
Define off.
What does that mean exactly?
Little humanoidish.
Maybe doing a
Is
perception
that
check.
femur too large, or
Is that femur too large?
About to have a soil and green
that's not
situation.
chicken bone?
I mean, you're kind of like looking around, and you see there's like frog eyes and like eyes of newts, and you know, she seems like she's a witch.
Witch
Standard-
paraphernalia,
standard,
huh?
standard witch stuff.
How Shakespeare you.
That's not shocking. That's not. Come on, that's not juice. That's not
Yeah.
the goss I'm here for.
You want the real tea.
As long as she just gives me a place to, sleep for the night, no troubles, we can just leave. I'm okay. I'm gonna leave her alone.
And she's like sitting on the steps, and she's like, Arabelle, be a dearie and make some tea for everyone. And then Arabelle's like, okay, Granny Griselda, and she goes over and she starts putting a little pot of tea on. And she's like, I didn't expect company, like I was saying, but feel free to have a pie or two on the house. I'm sorry, I just wish you would have sent a message ahead or something. And, Arabelle's in there, like, fixing up some tea. It seems like Arabelle's been here a few times, like, she knows where everything is.
I am once again
Arabelle's
apologizing.
probably only been downstairs, right?
You'd have to ask Arabelle.
To Masquerade speaks to her and says, well, you said that you had some mess upstairs. With the hospitality that you're showing us, allowing us to stay here, I'd be more than happy to assist you as far as cleaning up and doing our part to help you out here.
I do appreciate the offer, young man, but it's far too much of a mess. I'd be too embarrassed to have anyone up there.
Oh, don't mind. We don't mind at all. We come from very humble beginnings, and it wouldn't be an issue at all. Just let me help you. And as I start walking up the stairs a little bit,
And she's like, no, please stop. There's a mess, a big terrible mess up these stairs.
it's okay. We're great at cleaning.
Sidebar, I want to say we're assholes.
Yeah, we are.
we just presume and force our own views on people right now.
I mean,
So
worst
as you, like,
case, it's
force-
just some
as you
books, on the ground, like
You
spluttering
force your
around.
way past, and you get up to the next level.
Roll for initiative.
As you make it up to the steps, like, the room is just full of dust, the next level up. And I moved you over here in case you can't see it, CJ.
I can see it.
Yeah, the room is like full of dust, and there's cobwebs and everything everywhere. And it generally looks like a mess.
Well, I'm gonna start cleaning. Do I see a broom, or can I make a perception check, or?
Yeah, you can make a perception check.
I'd go up, and I've got prestidigitation.
Hell yeah, we finally get to see that. fucking
That's
spell.
right. So I can
Finally,
magic
that's
it
supposed to be
clean.
used.
We're getting some use out of it now.
That's right.
I've always taken it and never got to use it, and I'm so
Right?
jealous.
Pulling out my
So who else goes
Fantasia.
upstairs?
Yeah, I'd walk upstairs when he's like, I guess would Tirvis or how do you say your
Masquerade.
Masquerade? Would Masquerade say like would you mention like is there a broom or something like that? Because I would think that some audio cue would like have Soleil follow him up and then just start dusting basically.
And she's like embarrassed, and she has her hand like buried in her face buried in her hand, and she's like, please. She's like, oh my goodness, it's such a mess. And she hands a broom up the stairs to you.
As she hands me the broom, brother, I may need more than a broom.
I think.
What do I see with the perception check as far as in the room? Is it just?
Oh, she's about to hit you that broom and lightning strike you on it.
As you're like looking around, literally there's like spiders and like you see some rats like crawling around up there.
Are these friends of yours or should they be kicked out?
I promise they've never been in the kitchen. I keep the kitchen as clean as possible. Please
No,
don't.
I wasn't doubting you.
Don't
It's
tell the
just-
authorities. I know I'm not supposed to sell these pies,
yes.
but
No.
it's my only means of any kind of money.
I think
understand.
I think like the lack of like any reaction from Soleil and Maser would actually get Eliana to relax a little bit. Like it was such a mundane reaction from them. She would kind of like, you could feel like the weight kind of come off, and then she'll look at Griselda and say, "Please relax, ma'am. They are going to simply help you clean, give you a little bit of a break, and as we are sipping our tea, please tell us about yourself. How long have you lived here?"
Oh, I've been staying in this windmill for quite some time since the last owner moved on. I set up my little shop here, and I cook and I sleep upstairs, and it's just me and my sisters come to visit every now and then, but they stay out in the village of Barovia.
So you live alone? You have no one to help you with the daily tasks?
Well, I said my sisters usually come to visit, but I have to make my way to Barovia myself sometimes.
I see. Tell me, the pies you make, what do you, is it a secret recipe, or do you, what do you usually put in them? What is your usual style, as it is?
And she stands up and like kind of uses her little walking cane to get over to the kitchen, and she pinches Arabelle on the cheek. I use bad little boys and girls like Arabelle. And Arabelle's hee, stop it, Griselda.
Boom, 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 boom. No, just playing.
Says hee, stop it, Griselda. You're so funny. And she's like, mostly venison and other meat that I can buy from the hunters in the area.
I see, they smell quite delicious.
Can I take one of the pies outside?
Please take a pie, have one.
Thank you, Griselda. Go outside. I'm gonna literally do alchemy to see what's in this pie.
I was literally gonna elbow you since we were standing next to each other. She's like, "Please help yourself to a pie." I was gonna be like, "That one friend, you take it."
Yeah, I'm definitely focusing on it.
And so, Griselda, if it is not too pry too much, you have no children of your own, no grandchildren?
Oh no, I was unfortunate enough to have a torn womb.
Oh my, I'm quite sorry.
Yes, it's unfortunate. As much as I love children, I never had any of my own.
Well, it seems little Arabelle Hill loves you quite much. She has been super excited since we left the village to come and have one of your pies.
Oh yes, the children all seem to love these pies so much. They call them dream pies.
Oh, and little Arabelle, why do you call them the dream pie?
Because here in Barovia, most people have nightmares, but after you eat one of Griselda's pies, you don't have nightmares. You only have sweet dreams.
No, that is a very special pie.
And Dr. Takesh, as you're like searching through the pie and doing an alchemy check on it, it seems like it's legitimately made out of meat. And there's some gravy.
Well, what
And you can
kind
taste-
of meat?
The question is,
There's hints of rosemary. Well, with a 16, you can discern that it's definitely meat.
It is a meat-based pie.
It smells very delicious. You should try one.
Nah.
dreams,
I would
bro.
like to.
Bluto kind of comes in, and she's like, "Oh, Bluto." She's like, "I have a pie for you too." And Bluto's like, "Oh yes, Griselda, I love these pies." And he's like eating like 2 and 3 pies. They're like little pot pie size, but he's like eating them in like 2 bites. Bluto seems like he's very hungry.
I don't
And,
know how a Tengu would look disgusted, but I just look at him and be like, ugh.
And Ileana will, please excuse me for one moment. I must speak to my companion.
And then Arabelle's like sitting on the stool, and she's like eating a pie too.
When she said that with little kids, with bad little kids, can we see if she was telling the truth in that scenario?
Feel free, roll the dice.
Or was she being deceptive?
It seemed like she was being honest.
Oh God.
I mean, at this point, we have to
So-
kill her, right? Like,
Dang. So Ileana would step outside, and come up to Dr. Takesh, and she would say that the good woman in there said something that made her
I'm
the
still in the basement with the little girl. Just saying.
Erebel said something that makes me wonder. They said that most people in Barovia have nightmares, but that these dreams alleviate them. Have you heard anything about the Barovian nightmares, Dr. Takesh?
It is because of Strahd. Ever since the curse, that's all I truly know about it. But the Vistani people, most of the time, we don't have those problems since we are pretty much guarded by our ancestors, the spirits of our people, protect us during this time.
She would hold out her hand for the pie, if I may, for a moment.
Oh, of course. I just wanted to look at the meat one more time and do an anatomy like check to see if this is actually like animals or if this is human. If I can. Like the crafting was to see if there was like other chemical compounds, but I want to do the lore check specifically to see if there's a difference.
And while she's doing that, I'm doing detect magic on it.
So you rolling perception? Oh, alchemy. Anatomy.
It's actually anatomy.
It seems like that pie that you have is made out of venison.
that one is.
Is there,
The one she gave you.
is there any magical shenanigans coming out of that pie?
No magical shenanigans from the pie.
I'm speaking to Ileana. She was truthful when she spoke of using bad boys and girls for the pie. This may be venison. Quick question. Have we heard of any, in the 6 months, have we heard of children being taken?
You haven't heard of any being taken, but you do know in Barovia it's a very poor town that sometimes they'll sell off their children to other people.
How about disappearing? Just in general.
No disappearances.
Okay.
Was it that she was telling the truth about putting children in pies, or just like the truth as far as like she was joking about it?
It's hard to tell.
Oh, come on.
You guys have way too much fun tonight, watching us squirm and being so paranoid.
Soleil and Chavez, you're up there by yourselves, cleaning up all the cobwebs and bashing some rats. And you notice there's another set of stairs that goes up another level.
Yeah, I was gonna say Soleil would try to like silently signal Masquerade, because he knows his brother is a lot sneakier than he is, to check it out.
I'm gonna use a hero point to see if I can get any higher since you gave me an extra.
All right.
Oh yeah, much better.
Oh.
All right.
Oh man, you move up those stairs and it's almost like you just know where those weak creaky spots are on those stairs, and you like skip 1, 2 steps. You're like walking on the edge of it, and you get up to the next level. Mm-mm.
All right.
And up on that next floor, you see that there's a small, like, ramshackle bed and a little nightstand, a candle, a stool in the middle of the room, and there's a ladder that goes up one more floor.
I'm going to go up that ladder as well. I'm going to check the nightstand first, though, to see if there's anything in it.
Inside the nightstand, there's like a little scripture book that speaks on the Night Mother, who she seems to worship, and nothing out of the ordinary.
Now, just as a question, is like the Night Mother inherently evil?
She's
No,
I thought.
it's kind of like all things in balance. The Morning Lord brings up the sun, the Night Mother brings in the night.
Okay,
So-
so it's not like Urgathoa / the Night Mother. It's like when you see it, it's like, oh fuck, mark of the devil type shit. It's just like, it is what it is. It's like part of the world, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Everything happens in cycles.
sure.
So as you climb up, you see that you're at pretty much the top of the dome there, and there's not a whole lot of room for you to stand and walk around. But that room's almost completely empty. All that's in there is a small tub.
Can I make my way to the tub and see what's in it?
Don't do it.
Take a look.
Just need the horror music to.
Play horror music in the background.
Oh man.
Do I roll a perception check, or what do you want me to do?
Do you look in the tub?
Yeah.
Make a will save.
Roll for
Yes, make a will save.
Told you, bro. Saw it coming.
Oh no, not the Dynasty Warrior music. Oh no.
Oh, nice.
Good will save. That's scary.
When you look in the tub, it looks like it's you. But you're bleeding profusely. But you realize it to be an illusion.
Okay. That's not.
The tub looks completely empty.
Ah,
It looks completely empty.
After you get past the imagery.
So, like, it faded away after he saw himself.
Yeah. Trevez is unshaken.
Yeah.
Would you like to go back downstairs?
I'm going to reach in the tub. Do I feel
Oh
anything?
God.
You do not.
All right. Yeah, then I'll try to just go back down and report my findings.
Like how you said, I'll try to go back downstairs and that.
So you come back down, and Soleil's finished cleaning up, and it looks bright and brilliant in there. And you guys actually made some space for yourselves to sleep. You got plenty of space to roll out your bedrolls and get comfortable on the second floor.
I'll relay to Soleil quietly what I see, and also let him know not to, if he does end up there, not to look in the tub.
So I do have a question, Levi. So, like, Saren Ray is who Soleil worships, right? And
Mhm.
the who is the equivalent in Barovia?
The Morning Lord?
The Morning Lord is, because I guess I'm trying to see Saren Ray's anathema. Like, the first one is create undead, right? and Urgathoa's like edict is become undead upon death. So like, is that the same connection here? Like, if I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, is Soleil basically at odds with every opposite person, or is it something that he can like let slide because it's just a different in Barovia?
I would feel like if he actively sees people creating undead, or
Yes,
he sees
100%.
undead, he would have to deal with it. Yeah, but other than that, like the people of Barovia are just the people of Barovia.
Sure, I guess I mean like, I guess I'm sort of trying to learn if followers of the Night Mother are as like indoctrinated into becoming undead, or is that something that they aren't really trying to do?
I think it's a matter of circumstance for the people of Barovia. They're stuck in that cycle
Okay.
that they don't have
So
souls
it's just
that
like
pass
a
on to
fact
the
of
next
their
level.
life. Like they
Yeah.
sort of consider the cycle of life here sort of life and of death, just like two sides of the same coin, I guess. Not
Exactly.
that it. So here it's seen as like a natural thing instead of an unnatural thing that shouldn't exist. It's just a fact. Okay. I'm just
Very
trying to
much
figure
so.
out how Soleil would try to approach like Night Mother followers, basically.
Can I make like a religious check to see if I can find out any more information about that tub or what that could have been outside of just a regular illusion?
I think you would have to make an occult check.
Also make a clean check. How clean did y'all make her window?
Is that athleticism?
I mean, I use prestidigitation, so I don't know which one you want me to.
Like, how
That-
clean was it, bro?
That's how clean I got it.
Super clean.
It's like spotless.
Bro, it's magically clean.
Apparently, that was one of Tyrvez's details when he was in the monastery. He was cleaning, so he got
We
really
also
good at
cleaned
it.
a lot at the orphanage, you know, so
Yeah.
There you go.
free labor.
Yeah, so for the tub up there, it would probably have to be an occult check.
Cultism.
Perhaps
I
we should
will
ask
relay that to
Juliana.
my friends because
Yeah.
that is definitely not my strength there.
Yeah, I'd say if we had it all cleaned out and he was done with his findings, we'd probably go back down to the kitchen together.
All right, and as you guys go back down to the kitchen,
Or no, it's all clean for you, madam. We appreciate that hospitality.
and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much. Please have a pie. I don't have any money currently. I was about to go to town to sell, but I fear I wouldn't make it in time."
No need. Make sure you keep your wares for the selling, and we just appreciate the lodging for the night.
Well, if you guys cleaned up there, I suppose I don't mind you sleeping. I was just so embarrassed about the mess. I didn't want strangers to think I just live in a hovel.
As Bluto is like offended.
And Bluto's like mid pie, like he's on his like fifth pie, and he's just like, and he shrugs his shoulders and eats another pie.
Oh,
Such an interesting guy, that one.
Quite the character.
Well, I'm gonna mark a ration because I'm not eating this place. After that comment,
I do find it funny if she's somehow like totally innocent. We're just super paranoid for no reason.
She's probably just a normal witch in a coven, so
Yeah, I would say, you know, it's a gray matter. It's probably not completely pure, but maybe not, you know, totally
Maybe
trying to
not
kill
children.
us. Yeah.
your sisters you mentioned earlier. I know that they don't live with you; they frequently you, so they must be pretty close. Yes.
The closest town is Barovia. They stay in the town of Barovia.
Do they stay together?
You know, they don't tell me really.
Huh.
That's
They
odd.
come
You-
together?
You never think to bunk with them in the town?
Well, when I travel to the town, I do, but usually one of my sisters is always gone. It's like they're never in the same place.
Do
Just
they
like
visit you together?
No, I've only ever seen one of them at a time. Now that you mention it.
What's your sister's names? We may meet them. We may wanna. If they sell moon pies, is there as well.
dream pies.
Dream pies. I'm
Moon
sorry.
pies are real world treats.
Well, there's Morgantha
Oh dear.
in Syria.
Oh, wonderful names.
Griselda, do you? This may seem like a strange question. Do you have a pet raven, or what was it, a crow that yelled at us?
Oh, those damned ravens! I can't stand them. No offense, Mr. Birdman.
None taken. I squawked it out of here for you.
I don't know what their obsession is. Maybe it's the smell of the pies, but they're always here, squawking at people.
Hmm. And your sisters, they also do not have pet ravens.
No, why would we have pet ravens? They're disgusting birds. No offense, Mr. Bird, sir.
All right, now you gotta calm down with the bird jokes.
I think she's serious.
I see. Sorry for the strange question.
No problem at all. Please make yourselves as comfortable as possible. I'm sorry I don't have more to offer than the tea and the pies, but again, I wasn't expecting company.
Quite hospitable for us merely barging in.
When this is out of character, when she was letting us in, she said don't go downstairs, right?
No, she said don't go upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought
We are downstairs.
I thought maybe there was a
Y'all
basement.
forcefully worked your ways up.
Yeah.
I thought there
wouldn't
was
say
simply
wow.
a basement that we didn't.
Just push yourselves past poor old
Soleil did it.
Griselda.
Really?
We're gonna force
That's great,
ourselves
went up there
to your home
first.
and clean. You guys can show up anytime you want at my house.
You force your way upstairs to clean. Yeah, come on over, whatever.
Okay. Their doctor's already outside. I'm gonna walk out there with them and kind of hint to my brother Soleil to come out with me. That way we can essentially talk outside of her presence.
So Griselda pulls out like a deck of cards, and her and Arabelle and Bluto are kind of playing Three Dragon Ante.
As I'm walking out, I'd like look at Birdman and Lucy and like watch the child.
I was gonna say I'm staying inside for a minute here.
Relay to them quietly what I seen, and let them know that it could be a bit of danger if somehow she has a way to make us look into that tub. But overall, I don't suspect much. But I don't have the skills or the knowledge in the occult to actually affirm what's happening up there.
Describe to me once more, and she would actually pull out like a book and kind of start flipping through it out of her bag, flipping through like her spell book that has like a bunch of like different notes and stuff in it. And she would like say, describe to me exactly what you experienced once more. And I'd like to do an occultism check, like based off of his experience, if that's possible.
No, you'd have to do it at disadvantage because you didn't actually experience it.
For sure.
So as you look into the tub,
Oh wow.
Wow. You might as well hero point that. What's the worst that can happen?
We get in a fight and she needs it. Although there's only 18 minutes left.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a misfortune one though, so that's
I mean, you rolled 2 4s, so
It can get worse, but it can get better. We'll RP the last 19 minutes or 18 minutes.
yeah, I guess I'll use the hero point for it.
Yep, got worse.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thanks for trying to tell a story here, folks.
It's the theme of the night.
For real.
I tried. But relay that information. Let them know that we should be okay with the living quarters, but also express we may want to take turns as far as sleeping to ensure someone's on watch at all times.
Probably 2 people. Just saying. In my mind, it makes the most sense.
I don't disagree. Good doctor.
I'll take first watch. Whoever wants to help. Make sure the child is good.
I'll stay up with you. And Balthazar, obviously.
All right.
Before Ileana goes to sleep, she would spend 10 minutes to change out a spell and make an alarm and cast alarm in the area. And so, let's see.
Which area are you casting the alarm in?
So she would cast it within, because what's the area? It's a 20-foot burst. So a 20-foot burst around the
Second
windmill.
floor or the
Um,
whole thing.
So around the windmill, from basically the middle of the windmill out. So it would be at 20 feet wide and 20 feet tall. Where is that circle template? There we go. So that
All right. So throughout the evening, Griselda's kind of like offering you guys pies. Of course, you guys keep declining, but she keeps on offering. And the night starts to wane down, and she's already played like 4 or 5 hands of the ante, 3-dragon ante. And she's kind of like nodding off. And at this point, she's like, well, I'm sorry, guys, but it's quite a bit past my bedtime. I tried to stay up and entertain as long as I could, but I do have a long day tomorrow. I think I'll retire for the evening.
of course. Once again, thank you for your hospitality.
Sorry the accommodations weren't better, but again, I wasn't aware I was receiving company.
Accommodations are perfect. It's spotless up here.
And thank you so much for that. I do really appreciate it. I have to tell my sisters of all you adventurers coming through. What did you all say your names were?
Oh boy.
Everybody looks around at each other. Just
My
call
name-
us the Merry Band.
The Merry Band.
I just threw
Is
something out.
can I witch knowledge? Where would witch knowledge fall under?
That would definitely be occultism.
Fuck. I'll attempt to discern whether or not a witch can do something with like my name. That's pretty good.
Now, a witch would be able to do something with your name if you were on the Fey plane or you were a Fey creature. But since you are not a Fey creature, you are in the clear.
And that's why I'm not going to tell her my name. Because I am.
Yeah, fuck.
Just call me
my,
doctor.
I'll give her my name. I am Soleil. Thank you for welcoming me into your home.
Ileana would say, Cordelia.
So nice to meet all of you. No need to be bashful, dear. What's your name? And she's like looking at Lucia.
Balthazar.
What an odd name for such a pretty young woman.
Yes, her people are strange.
Named for my grandfather.
Ah, very odd. And you, Mr. Bird?
I think he's tucking in his son.
And what about you, you big strapping man?
Brother, I believe she's talking to you.
Hooray.
That's
Oh, hooray! Nice to meet you all.
It is a
Well-
pleasure as well.
Have a
Mr.
wonderful rest.
Yes, if there's anything that we can help you with, just let us know.
Very well. I'll have a good evening.
Rest away.
Hey, that wasn't her aura. I came back to.
He said, "Who made her mad?"
Nobody. She's going to sleep. So me and Lucia are taking first watch.
I'd say I'd stay with Ilyana, just in convincing my brother that we should split watches since we're like two of the tougher ones, essentially. So there should be like a tough and a smart.
Oh, that's
We're
pretty
gonna steal
smart.
that for the rest of the campaign. All right, toughs, where are your smarts? Make sure you got them.
You guys got to team up.
Brains and bronze, baby.
And Bluto's kind of sitting there on the stool, and he literally like falls asleep with his head on his chest and a pie in his hand, and the card in the other, in the cards in his other hand, like he's just sleeping sitting up.
This man is quite the character.
Disgusting.
He's
And
gotten used to sleeping in a recliner in his defense.
Arabelle reaches into this little chest here and pulls out a blanket, and it's a much nicer blanket than Bluto had, and she puts it on Bluto, and she's like, "He's such a sleepy man," and she like rubs his hair and strokes his beard a little bit.
Get all those pie crusts out of it.
I can picture that. Just goodness.
Brushing them out.
And then Arabelle looks kind of like she's nervous. She's like, I don't usually sleep around without Papa Luvash. He has my bunny rabbit."
And Ileana will once again take off her cloak and kind of drape it around her. Says, "Here, with you once again for the night. This will give you nice comfort and the feeling of home. You can sleep lovely."
Don't you worry, young madam. As I prestidigitation make some temporary object of negligible bulk which happens to look like a toy bunny.
Damn, you beat me to it, dude. I was gonna give her my familiar.
And she's so happy to sleep with this little rabbit. She's like, "This rabbit is so much cuter than the one Belinsky makes."
I'm glad you like it.
"Can I keep it forever?"
As long as you need it. Once you don't need it anymore, it will go back to where it came.
As Balthazar says, yes.
Yeah.
And then she kind of looks at you guys. She's like, "Why did you guys lie to Miss Griselda?
Now, when did we lie?
You guys gave her fake names."
I did not.
"Well, you didn't, but she did." And she points at Ileana.
I did not. Cordelia is part of my name.
"And she did," and she points to Lucia.
I got nervous.
I think to her, Balthazar, Lucia, it's all part of the same person. Strange, I know, but it's her people.
Seemed like she had a nickname for me already. I just stuck to it.
"Papa Luvash says it's not polite to lie to people who feed you."
I have not partaken of her pies.
I ate my rations.
What do you have to say to that, little lady?
"Well, she offered to feed you."
And we
You are
cleaned her
right.
house.
Fair recompense, if I do say so.
"Papa Luvash says you shouldn't turn down food from people."
I think
It's
Papa
rude.
Luvash would say, you need to go to bed. It's getting late.
And with that, she like yawns. She's like, "You're right," and then she like curls up on the floor with the cloak.
It's 2 meals we're denying anyways. Bluto's as well.
Bluto's eating good, boy.
He's eating good now.
You see his
Hey.
picture, right? Bluto is a portly man.
Obviously, he eats pies a lot.
Jeez.
All right, so who's on the first watch?
The Doc
I
and
think
Lucia.
that's, yeah, me and Miss Nikia.
The tough and the smart, obviously.
The tough and the smart.
Tough and smart.
What's up, what's smart?
Golly.
All right, tough and the smart. Let me see them 2d20s.
2d20.
So is anybody actually sleeping up on the next floor up? Like, who's sleep? Like, or is that just where people are sleeping?
Well, that's why we had Nikia, because
Hey, you don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like
just
that 20 could have marked an ass whooping for us pretty soon. You never know.
That's one ass whooping for you.
No issues, no problems for the first. How do you guys split these? Like 4 hours? 4-hour shifts?
Yeah.
that would have been my assumption, yeah.
All right. All right, who's next up?
What? There's 4 teams, basically. Is there 4 teams?
3.
3 teams.
3 teams. So, yeah,
3-hour shifts, maybe.
4-hour shifts.
3 or 4, whatever. Whatever
Yeah.
works.
I mean, you guys only need to get 8 hours of rest, right? Wait till the sun comes up.
And we
Somebody who picked the long straw and gets to sleep all night. It wasn't us, though.
Nah, we'll do 3-hour shifts because that's
It'll
better.
be Balthazar.
It's better for REM cycles, you know.
Yeah, okay. For sure.
Balthazar's the only tough that gets full 8 hours.
That's right.
All right, next watch. Let me get them 2d20s.
Who was next? It was Ileana
So,
and Soleil.
Sure.
yeah, so that.
Y'all are rolling perception, right?
Nah, he
rolling
said
2d20s.
20s.
Ah, okay.
We're
Rolling
following
luck of the
instructions,
draw.
bro.
All right, Ileana, Soleil, you guys hear footsteps above you on the 3rd floor. Seems like somebody's moving around up there.
She must have to pee.
Is anything triggering the alarm spell from up above?
Seems like she's above the alarm spell.
Okay.
Because you said it's 20 feet high, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nothing
Um,
triggers the alarm spell.
Could I like roll a perception just to see if I can discern what's happening? Like, is
Feel
she
free.
dancing? Is she?
She dancing while she's peeing.
Ah,
Ooh.
hero point. I'm hero pointing.
Yeah, you got 4 minutes.
That's the 18 I wanted.
It almost sounds like she's drawing a circle with some chalk.
Ah, fuck me, lady.
Wake up. Get out of the windmill. Out of there.
Does the Soleil relay that?
Well, Ileana, I don't know if you can hear this yourself, but it sounds as if to me that the lovely older lady may be drawing something, perhaps circles of some kind on the floor.
Yeah, Ileana would have definitely been noticed it too because she rolled a 15 too, right?
With chalk.
I didn't roll. I didn't roll perception.
Oh, I see. So Ileana with a 15.
Is
That
this-
was Soul with the first one.
yeah,
and
that
then
was
he-
my first
hero
one. And
point.
then,
I was talking
yeah.
about the 2d20s.
Oh, I see.
Ileana and Soleil rolled a 15.
Oh, okay. So I would have heard the chalky.
No, you would have heard the shifting and shuffling up there.
Oh, okay. Well, I just meant like the specific of like what Soleil like kind of gleaned from it, because I just hear her
Oh
moving,
yeah.
but he's like telling me that it sounds like she's drawing something. Very specifically,
Do you
so
know
she
if
would.
that's inherently dangerous to us?
I don't know, but
To
give me
find
a
out.
moment. So she would kind of raise her hand and send that pulse of detecting magic to see if there's any feedback from that.
And just from the edges of your 30-foot cone, there's definitely a ritual being taking place up there.
God, speaking of
Uh,
rituals this early,
So she,
here
so she
we
looks,
go.
so she looks back at Soleil. There is a ritual being prepared.
Of course, but
I-
is it for us? I guess,
If
is there
we
any
are
way
to
you could discern that?
if we are to heed the warning that we were given upon our arrival here, I think it warrants investigation.
And it's still nighttime, right? Like, leaving isn't exactly a great option.
It says you can hang on. Well, let me read that. You can learn the school of magic for the highest level effect within the range of spells. This is abjuration magic.
Oh, that's her specialty. That's Ileana's.
I like the
Right.
sound of that.
So yeah, it's very familiar to you. It seems like she's casting some sort of barrier.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Hmm.
Bear to keep
A
us
barrier to keep us out, or to keep something to keep us away from her.
It seems like it's to keep something or someone out.
I'm good with that.
Going by what Sarah told me about this earlier, perhaps it is something to do with that hub he was speaking of.
Hmm.
Do you think we should wake our companions and investigate?
Do you recall them saying the dream pies would block out Strahd's nightmares? I wonder if she has learned some way to block out his influence, and this is part of that.
I would like to ask her, to be quite honest with you. I would like to see what this ritual entails.
Can you think of
Purely
some
from
way to talk to her without alarming her?
I am a follower of Nethys, though she may not know it. It is a god of magic. I am a scholar of magic. Perhaps she will at least accept my legitimate intellectual curiosity about it.
I guess I would just not want to disrespect her in her own home while she could be doing something completely harmless to us, yes, and I wouldn't want to overstep our boundaries as guests, so I would like for her to understand that it was just a curiosity and of, caution that we're curious, but
She looks up. She says, "The school of magic being used is one that I am specialized in. I am legitimately curious as to what the ritual is for. I hope she will at least give me some leeway in that regard."
I agree. Do you think it'd be best if I at least wake our companions and we sit at the ready while you approach alone, or would you like
Yes,
someone to
I
come with you?
I should at least be able to, if need be. I can send you I can cast a message spell to call for aid if need be.
The message spell, could you use that to communicate with her without going up there?
Can I? Let me see. Um, I can, but it might be, if she's not expecting it. It
Could
may
be alarming.
Yes.
I guess I don't. Since this is your specialty, would it be more alarming to have a rap tap tap on a door, or is it something you could like gently announce your presence with message?
I suppose I shall. I suppose both may be a wiser. I shall send the
Perhaps knocking
message.
on the. I personally, I believe I'd rather hear a knock at the door instead of someone speaking in my mind. I suppose.
I think it could be if you were not expecting it. A rap on the door is at least not as alarming as a voice in your head.
I agree. And then I guess as Chemo's saying, it's about that time. Do we want to like wrap here before we potentially, open a can of whoop ass if she tries to kill us?
Yeah, this is a good stopping point. I think is reaching the height of his anticipation.
Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
Facts.
The
Hell
mystery
yeah.
of this random lady.
dude, I fucking love it,
Wonderful
man.
paranoia
Man.
with this group.
You
It's
guys
just-
are hilarious.
It's so good because I think we're all sort of struggling and trying to find solutions that aren't like we'll just kill it.
Right. Well, like, because I think like it's tough because it feel like if she is up to some nonsense, she's very good at hiding it.
Yeah.
But like it's just that one initial warning that's just like not leaving my ear. So it's like that Raven was
So here's
very
and I
specific.
guess this could be a little meta, but we know Strahd is down with the Ravens, right?
Right,
So
I was
it's
thinking
like,
the same thing.
is it Strahd trying to not let allies come together versus it's just like
Or
a
just make
warning
it so
from
that we're
on
out
high? Like
Oh.
who is warning us? You know
I
what I'm
didn't
saying?
make that connection.
Right, I was worried about Strahd and it being
Right.
like, here, don't come in here. And
Immediately,
you're
I
gonna be out in the
thought,
middle of the
oh,
night.
immediately I was like, okay, Strahd knows where we're at if he gives a fuck.
Oh, that actually would have
You know what I'm
changed
saying?
my outlook a lot. I think I
Okay.
totally forgot about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could discuss that too when we come back next session. But yeah,
For
that
sure.
like for me, it was like I'm not super distrustful. Like obviously, I'm distrustful for her because Levi's laying on the fact that she's a witch like really heavy. But like, I could probably be fine with that if she's like a nice witch, right? Like.
Are you a good
There's all
witch?
different shades of gray and black in fucking Barovia, right? And so Lay can't just go and smash every one of them to bits with his sword. Like it's just not gonna be what happens. So
Man, it's almost like we need the 5e divine sense.
dude, honestly, I was looking it up, and like next morning, I'm going to take detect. I think it's detect alignment,
Yeah.
which is like essentially what it is. So it's like only creatures of 6th level or higher unless divine spellcasters, undead, or beings from the outer sphere. So at least like undead stuff. I don't know if a witch falls into that, but like I would be able to sort of detect, because that was something I want to do, is like I want to sort of sense if like is she a fucking vampire or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, I got you.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really falling into the role of the tough and not the smart too. It's like, what's your name? Literally all I can think of, Balthazar? Because I've been saying that all day. Hi. Should have been pondering on that. Knew that
That
question.
was hilarious.
That was so funny.
We are definitely struggling with some stuff right now.
I like it. I love
No,
it.
I'm
This was a
loving
really
the
fun
struggle
encounter.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Gee.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, obviously she's very witch-like. Okay, obviously she's being truthful about putting kids in pies. That can't be good, right?
It's definitely not on the good side.
Like, huh.
But yeah, good shit though, Levi. It's the creepiness is spot on.
Illusion tubs. Like I'm
Yeah.
glad I
Just-
wrote
Yeah.
on it.
Just to mess with our minds to see like, do we kill her or are we murder like hobos or whatever?
We're
Or do
not
we
supposed
roll?
to be murder hobos.
We're not supposed
Right.
to be. We even said we were gonna try and be different with this one.
Like, I feel so much better about becoming allies with her than fucking what's-his-face.
Oh,
Lavash.
Strahd? Or Luvash? Yeah.
Lavash,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, totally.
If
would
I had to pick,
totally be
we're
down.
going with Griselda.
Yeah.
100%.
Granny
Yeah, there's-
Griselda with the pies, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, get in
I'd
with
rather
the cup.
have, fucking my guardian witch versus Luvash.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Totally.
Hell yeah. Well, GG's, y'all. Thank you.
GG's.